Hello and welcome to On the Mat with Lydia. That's me, and whatever has brought you to your yoga practice today, you are very welcome here. Today's class is an advanced flow for arm balances. So by advanced, I mean this is a class for you if you've been practicing yoga asana for a while and you know yourself and your practice well enough to know where you want to go, how much you want to challenge yourself, and when you need to kind of back off and take a rest. So today we're exploring arm balances, and specifically side crow is going to be our peak pose for today. So we'll have some time to warm up for that arm balance with a few extra arm balances thrown in there in between. We'll wake up the wrists, the shoulders, the core, so that you can get ready to really play around with that side crow and explore where your body wants to go today. Then you'll have time for a sweet shavasana at the end to really rest and integrate the practice. So for today, you might want to grab a block or possibly two if you have them nearby. Can be super helpful, especially when you're practicing arm balances. So go ahead and grab those if you have them. And whenever you're ready, let's get on the mat. Let's begin today lying down on our backs. So when you're ready, please make your way all the way down onto your mat. And as you arrive, please take a moment to find any comfortable position in your body. So perhaps resting with feet planted flat on the floor, maybe stretching out more towards a shavasana type shape. But allowing yourself for these first few moments of your practice to really relax your body into the support of the earth. Letting go of any effort in your body. Softening the muscles of your face, unclenching your fingers and toes. And allowing yourself to breathe freely here. Breathing in and out through your nose. And discovering this natural pace of your breath. This ebb and flow, this in and out, that will be your constant companion throughout your practice today. And using this breath awareness to really help draw you onto your mat, into your body. Perhaps you might even like to take a moment to scan your awareness through your body from head to toe and just check out how you're feeling as you arrive on your mat today. Noticing any areas that might feel a little tight, a little painful even, or uncomfortable. And taking note of the areas that feel spacious, open, light. And then noticing your energy levels right now as well. And using all of this information to inform the rest of your practice so that you can choose how you want to move from this foundation of your own body's wisdom. So all together, let's take 3 more rounds of breath here. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling through nose or mouth. Again, inhale. And exhale. One last breath here. Let's take a big inhale. And exhale, side out. And if you're not already there, please begin to bend your knees, plant the soles of your feet onto the floor. Finding your feet about hips width distance, maybe slightly wider. Arms will start resting by your sides, feeling the parts of your body really connected to the earth, the soles of your feet, the backs of your shoulders. And with your next inhale, begin to rise your hips any amount, pushing down through the feet. As you exhale, slowly begin to lower your hips right back down. And again, just like that, inhaling to rise your hips. And exhaling to lower, take it nice and slow. Inhale as you rise your hips. This time, if you'd like to add on, perhaps sweeping your arms up and then back behind you. Palms to the sky as you inhale at the top. And exhale to slowly lower everything back down. Let's do that a few more times. Please move at the pace of your breath. Inhaling to rise the hips, perhaps stretching the arms. And exhaling to lower everything back down. Noticing here that your breath and your body can come together to create this movement. And in fact, your breath instigates the movement rather than the movement instigating the breath. So starting your inhale, and let that be the impetus to rise the hips, stretch the arms. And then starting that exhale, letting that bring you down to the mat. Beautiful. Let's take 2 more rounds just like this. Gently waking up the body as we start our practice. And the next time that you inhale, rising your hips into that bridge. As you exhale, begin to lower your hips down towards the mat. This time landing your low back down, hug your navel in. With an inhale, lift your head and shoulders, reach your fingertips towards your heels. And as you exhale, slowly lower back down towards the mat. Then again, inhaling to rise the hips, find your bridge. As you exhale, lower down, feel your low back connect to the earth. With an inhale, rise your head and shoulders, little crunch. And exhale, gently lower back down. 3 more rounds of that, inhaling to rise. And exhaling to lower. Feel a navel hug in at the bottom of that exhale as you inhale, rise the head and shoulders. And exhale, reset, lower down. 2 more, flow on your own, please. Again, letting your breath really motivate your movement. And there's no rush here. Find that pace that feels best for your body. And as you finish up your last round, we'll all meet at the bottom of that exhale, landing back to lay on your mat. Beautiful. Now with your next inhale, lift your head and shoulders, reach your fingertips forward. As you exhale, begin to lift your knees towards your chest, 1 leg at a time, and curl everything together into a little ball. Feel your low back push down as your shoulder blades lift up. Feel this hugging into center around your core. Now as you inhale, start to stretch your legs out, reach your arms back. As you exhale, squeeze and hug everything in together. Again, inhale to reach out and exhale to hug in. Make sure you're breathing here. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in towards center. 2 more. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, hug in, waking up the core. Inhale. Exhale, hug it in. Hold here for a breath in. As you breathe out, gently release the head and shoulders down. Take a moment if it feels nice to hug the legs. Maybe take a little rock side to side. And then 1 foot at a time, let's plant the soles of the feet back down onto the mat. This time stepping your right foot all the way to the right, left foot to the left. Let's start to take a little windshield wiper action here. So again, moving at a pace that feels natural for you. Just gently waking up the lower body a little bit more. So we're really taking time at the start of our practice today to kind of incrementally wake up the body, get things fired up, so that by the time we get to our arm balance, we are ready to go. So the next time that your knees fall to that right side of your mat, let yourself roll all the way onto your side. Press into your hands, bring yourself up to seated, and let's meet in Sukhasana, easy seat. So taking a moment to find yourself on your bum here, rock around, find that nice tall spine. Arms will start just gently resting by your sides, and let's tuck the chin towards the chest. Feel that length through the back of your neck here as you ground the hips down. Let your shoulders gently relax down your back. And when you're ready, take an inhale to bring your right ear over towards your right shoulder. As you exhale, bring the chin down through center. And then inhale, left ear over towards the left shoulder. And exhale down through center. Starting to smooth that out, right ear to right shoulder. And then passing through center and bringing left ear to left shoulder. And let's keep that going just a few more rounds here, gently, slowly moving through the neck. Option to stick with these rainbows, these little semicircles side to side. Or if it feels okay for your neck, you might take this into full circles here, letting the chin lift up. Imagining that you're drawing a circle in the air with the tip of your nose. And let's take another breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Gently settling your chin back towards your chest. Then lifting your head up, gaze is neutral, looking straight forward. Let's take our next inhale to lift the shoulders to the ears, and exhale, draw the shoulders back and down. So again, inhale, shoulders up, and exhale, shoulders back. So taking those rotations from the neck now into the shoulders. Again, really taking our time to make sure that the body is awake and ready to go before we just hop right into our arm balances here today. So let's take a few more rounds of these shoulder rolls, maybe picking up the elbows a little bit, making these a little bit bigger if that feels good. Awesome. And then when you're ready, start to settle those shoulders down onto your back. Bring your palms together in front of you. Please interlace your fingers. Bring your elbows as close together as it feels comfortable for you. And we'll start to roll through the wrists here, just making some circles. Keeping your elbows fairly close to your body so that the shoulders don't have to do too much here, just focusing in on those wrists. So of course, arm balances, we do a lot of weight bearing on the hands. So we want to make sure that our wrists are nice and warmed up and happy before we get into those arm balances. Now please stop those rotations, keep the fingers interlaced, and send the elbows out wide, let the palms come apart. And we're going to start to wave through the arms here, again stretching through the wrists. So pulling out that old dance move that you use at all the weddings, all the family parties, finding that dance move here again on your mat, just to help us warm up the wrist a little bit more. And you can try and switch directions if you'd like. Give your mind a little bit of work to do here as well on the mat. Awesome. And when you feel ready, you can release that interlace of your fingers, shake the hands out a little bit. And let's bring it forward onto hands and knees. Start to make your way into your tabletop position. So as we arrive, we're going to start out with one last little exercise for the wrists. So let's start by stacking the joints here, shoulders just about over the wrists, maybe slightly behind, and then hips over the knees. Clawing down through your fingertips, find that little bend in your knuckles. Take an inhale to start to lift your palms away from the mat, coming onto the fingertips. And as you exhale, slowly release back down onto the palms. So again, inhaling to lift up onto the fingertips, keeping the elbows straight. And exhaling to lower back down. So the only movement here is through the hands. The rest of the arm up into the shoulder is staying in place. Inhaling to come up onto the tips of your fingers and exhaling to come down onto the palms. And if you'd like, you can speed that up a little bit, almost like you're doing kind of push-ups for the wrists here. Again, just giving us a little bit more strength here as we find our foundations for our arm balances. Beautiful. Now the next time that your hands come flat onto the floor, let's take a moment to just kind of rock the body around, maybe even take some little circles, feel that in the wrists. And we're going to take some care to really place our hands on the mat here today. So as you root down, spread your fingers nice and wide apart. And then think about pushing down through the knuckles of your fingers. So right here at the base of each finger, really push that down into the mat. And then think about the center of your palm almost lifting up away from the floor. So we're anchoring down through the knuckles, through the fingertips, but creating this lift up out of the wrists. Now your upper arm is going to rotate in as if you were going to turn your pinky finger towards you, and that's going to give us a little bit more strength up into the shoulders. So those elbow pits are pointing forward about over the middle fingers. Now from here, let's find a nice long spine. Take your next inhale to draw your shoulder blades together. Let your chest drop just a couple inches. Then as you exhale, push through those hands, draw the shoulder blades apart, and find this kind of rounding, this puffing of the upper back. Now again, inhaling to draw your shoulder blades together, let the chest drop, it's pretty subtle. And then exhaling to draw the shoulder blades apart, find that push through the hands. These are called our scapular push-ups. So inhaling, shoulder blades come together, the rest of the body does not move. Exhaling to draw your shoulder blades apart, strengthening the upper back. Let's take two more here. Inhaling, shoulder blades together. Exhale, pull them apart. And again, inhale, keep those arms hugging in. And exhale, shoulder blades away. Let's add on now. Inhale, shoulder blades come together. Start to lengthen your heart forward. Maybe lift your chin, lift your tailbone, find your cow pose. Then as you exhale, push through your hands, shoulder blades apart as you tuck your tail and tuck your chin. Inhaling, shoulder blades together as you lengthen out, heart lifts. Exhale, shoulder blades apart as you tuck and lift the navel in. Let's take about 3 more rounds here, moving at your own pace through your cat-cow. Waking up the spine a little bit more, keeping that strength in the hands. Pushing especially through those knuckles of the fingers and especially through the L's of your hands. So that space right between your pointer fingers and your thumbs on each hand. Beautiful. Now the next time that you exhale and round into your cat pose, feel the navel lift, feel that push through the hands. Please tuck your toes behind you if they're not already tucked. Take your next inhale to lift your knees just to hover off the mat. Take your gaze just slightly forward of your fingertips. Keep hugging your upper arms in, drawing your shoulder blades apart. Feel this fire building in the body as you take another inhale. Exhale, push your hips up and back, and let's find our downward facing dog. Beautifully done. Take a moment to settle into your downward facing dog here. Maybe pedal the heels, wiggle the hips. Might feel nice to take the hands a little bit wide today, even just to give the shoulders a little bit more space. And eventually settling into stillness here when you're ready. Rooting through those knuckles of the fingers, the balls of your feet, and letting your heels be buoyant, just hovering over the mat. Feel your hands pushing up away from the mat, length all the way up through the armpits, navel gently hugging in and up to give you this lightness through the hips. Let's take the next inhale to bend both knees, maybe look forward. As you exhale, stay on your tippy toes as you take a walk towards the top of your mat, keeping your hips high, feeling that core connection until you land in your forward fold. Rooting through your feet, let your hands hang heavy here. Letting maybe the palms flip up, backs of the hands pressed to the earth to get a little stretch for the wrists here. Maybe even a gentle sway side to side through the upper body if that feels nice. Taking a moment to release all that effort that we've had so far. Taking these little pauses, these little breaks, so that your body can kind of reset and get hyped up for the next step of our practice. From your forward fold, please take an inhale to halfway lift, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, bend your knees and fold over your legs. With your inhale, rise all the way to stand. Perhaps your arms sweep to the sky. And exhale, hands come down through heart center. Getting ready to move through our sun salutations, waking up, warming up the body a little bit more here today. So from your strong mountain pose, feet planted, spine lifting tall. Take an inhale, sweep both arms to the sky. As you exhale, soften your knees and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening out through your spine. As you exhale, plant your palms. Let's step back into our plank pose. Please drop your knees to the mat for this first one, warming up the shoulders. Remember that planting down through the knuckles of the fingers and clawing through the fingertips. Then feel that lift up through the inside edge of the wrists. Take an inhale, gaze slightly forward. As you exhale, begin to lower your chest, elbows hug in, come halfway down. Pause here for the inhale, hug those elbows together. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, rise your chest, cobra, baby cobra, your back bend of choice. Exhale, press the hips back and up. Let's find downward facing dog. Pausing here for a breath in and breath out. Again, inhale, weight into those L's of your hands. Exhale, lifting up through the armpits. Now, last inhale here. Bend your knees, lift your heels. As you exhale, tippy toe to the top of your mat, using your core to help lift your hips, and eventually planting your feet forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. And exhale to fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Arms might sweep to the sky. Exhale, hands find heart center. Round two, inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Come on down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step it back to your plank. Now this time you have the option to lower your knees or keep them lifted. Wherever you are, take an inhale, rock your weight forward. As you exhale, lower down halfway, find that little pause. Then inhale, lift the chest, baby cobra, cobra, up dog. Exhale, send the hips back and up, downward facing dog. Inhale here. And exhale. Another inhale. And exhale. Now as you inhale, bending your knees deeply, lifting your navel. As you exhale, take one big step towards the top of your mat, followed by the other foot. Forward fold, take a moment to release, relax the arms. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale, root to rise, reaching for the sky. Exhale, hands through heart center. One more round. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. Follow your breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step it back into your plank. Again, option to keep the knees lifted or drop them down to the mat. Wherever you are, take an inhale, gaze slightly forward. As you exhale, elbows hug in, lower halfway. Pause for the inhale, stay, stay, stay. As you exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Beautiful, push down through the tops of your feet. Inhale, lift into your back bend of choice. Exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. Let's stay for a breath in and breath out. Bring weight into those L's of the hands. Inhale. Exhale, feel your navel hug in and up. Now inhale, bend your knees, lift your heels, maybe look forward. As you exhale, think light through the hips as you hop your feet towards your hands. Awesome. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands through heart center. Let's take a moment to pause here, rooting through your feet, gazing straight forward. Perhaps the eyes close here if that feels safe and comfortable for you. Feel your breath in your body. Feel this pulse of life moving through you, this movement of prana, of life force. And if you need to, perhaps take a few exhales out through the mouth, let go of any extra heat built up in the body. We're going to keep our bodies warm. We're going to keep moving here, keep working towards our arm balances. So let's play here. From your mountain pose, we're going to set up for chair. So for today, if it feels okay for your hips, your knees, we're going to heel toe the feet all the way together until your big toes touch and your heels are slightly separated. Now, if that just feels crunchy, icky, no bueno, then we can step the feet about hips width distance apart. That's a-okay. So choose your own adventure here. Root down through the feet. As you inhale, arms come up as your hips sit down. With your exhale, hug everything towards your belly button. So even if the legs aren't touching, feel this like magnetism between the thighs, hugging in towards center, and then the thighs gently rolling outward to hug the hips in. So a lot of action and engagement going on in the body that's going to come in handy later. Something about hugging in, dropping the hips back and down. Let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, fold forward over your legs, release. Inhale for your halfway lift. As you exhale, step your left foot back behind you and gently lower your left knee down to the mat. Setting up for your low lunge, take a moment to root down through the hips, anchor through that right foot. And then climbing your hands up to the top of your right thigh, or perhaps stretching your arms to the sky. Let's take an inhale here. Stay for your exhale. Another inhale in your lunge. As you exhale, fingertips float back down to the mat. Tucking your back toes to lift your back knee. Inhale, lengthen through the body. As you exhale, lift your hips. Begin to straighten through your right leg and fold over your right thigh any amount. Nice long pyramid pose here. If this feels a little bit unstable today, you always have the option to step that left foot closer until you can ground the heel. But really looking for that length through the legs, length through the spine. As we take another inhale here. And exhale. Now with your inhale, rebend your right knee. Come to the ball of that back foot. As you exhale, think about hugging the hips towards center. Inhale, slowly rise up towards your high crescent lunge. Using your exhale to settle in, perhaps bending the back knee if that feels nice. Let's find an inhale here in our lunge, spine nice and tall. Exhale completely here. Now inhale, hands drop down to heart center. As you exhale, turn your chest towards your right knee. Hinge from your hips to bring that left elbow towards your right thigh. Now feel the hips hugging in, navel lifting up. Lots of integrity here around your center. All the while, the chest is going to open up, shoulder blades drawing together as you find this twist. Notice how this feels in your body, especially around your center, your spine, your core. Let's take another inhale here in this twist. As you exhale, gently unwind. Hands come to frame that right foot. Now take your gaze slightly forward of your fingertips towards that top edge of your mat. Begin to shift your weight all the way into your right leg. With an inhale, lift your left toes off the floor. As you exhale, begin to fold forward into your standing splits. Awesome. Take some time to find your balance here. Really rooting into that right foot. Lifting the left leg any amount, doesn't really matter how high it goes. Feel that squeezing through center. Once again, the core is fired up, the legs are engaged. Let's take an inhale right here. As you exhale, bend that left knee, draw it in towards your chest, curling in. Then again, let's inhale to lengthen out. Exhale, draw your knee in. You got it, just one more. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, draw your knee in. This time, hold it here. Option to start to stretch that left leg back behind you. So crossing that left leg behind your right. Start to bend that right knee as you drop the hips. Root your left palm and reach your right hand towards your foot. Perhaps you can catch the foot, keeping the chest forward, bending that left elbow like chaturanga. Our baby grasshopper here, first arm balance of the day. Well, really kind of chaturanga was, but this is our first fancy one. Feel the lift of your core as you take another inhale right here. As you exhale, slowly begin to unwind. Drop that left foot next to your right. And fold over your thighs. Take a big breath in and complete breath out. Now with your inhale, start to lift up onto your tippy toes. As you exhale, bend your knees, drop your hips towards your heels, coming all the way down towards a squat. Awesome. So as we find our toe balance here, you have the option once again, just like in chair pose, to bring the toes all the way together, legs together, or if that feels a little crunchy today, we can keep the feet a little wider apart. So you choose your own adventure here, whatever feels best for your body. And let's start to play with finding some balance here in this shape. So find your breath. Find that activation of drawing everything towards center. And imagine almost like there's a string at the top of your head lifting you up, making you lighter so that you're not dumping down into the heels. Beautiful. If you want to play, maybe lift one hand up off the mat. Maybe lift both hands up off the mat. See what happens. Awesome. Let yourself wobble if that's part of your practice today. And let's take another inhale here in our toe balance. Now as you exhale, we're going to push through the legs, rise all the way up to stand, drop the heels, relax, mountain pose. Awesome, shake it out, let it go, beautifully done. Take as long as you need to kind of reset here in center. All together, we're going to stay for a breath in. And let it out. And once again, setting up for our chair pose, toes together or feet hips width distance. Take your inhale to rise your arms, sink your hips. As you exhale, find that action of hugging in. So that navel's drawing in and up, hip bones are coming together, and lower ribs are kind of corseting down towards the navel as well. All of this is going to be so important once we get to our arm balances. So let's feel it here. Take another inhale. As you exhale, begin to fold forward, release. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. As you exhale, step your right foot back, gently lower your right knee down. And let's set up for our low lunge on this side. Wiggle the hips around a bit, get yourself rooted. And as you're ready, hands climb up to your thigh, or perhaps stretch all the way up to the sky. Feel this length through the sides of your waist as you lift up. Inhale. Stay for your exhale. Taking another inhale right here. Exhale, fingertips float down to the mat. Let's tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. Inhale, looking for length through your entire body. And exhale, rise your hips, start to straighten the front leg and fold over into your pyramid. Remember, you always have the option to readjust that back foot, grounding the heel, or keep this stance nice and long for today. Feel this lifting, that lightness through the hips, just like we were practicing in downward facing dog, giving you all this length through the back of the leg. Let's stay for another breath in and breath out. As you inhale, please rebend your front knee, come towards a lunge. As you exhale, push down through your feet, lift up through your navel. From those foundations, take your inhale to rise up, finding your high crescent lunge. Use your exhale to settle in. So always the option to bend into the back knee a little or a lot, if that feels better for you today, especially the low back. Wherever you are, let's take an inhale to drop the hands towards the heart. As you exhale, take your twist, turning your chest to the left and dropping your elbow down. Beautiful. Looking for length in your spine here as the tailbone moves back, crown of your head reaches forward. And then feel the shoulder blades draw together just like we did in those scapular push-ups, helping you to lift the heart, spread the collarbones wide. You got it. Now remember to keep breathing throughout this entire practice. For now here, let's take another inhale. As you exhale, slowly unwind. Hands frame that left foot. Now taking your gaze forward, start to shift your weight to that left leg. Take an inhale to lift the right foot off the mat. And as you exhale, bow forward over your left thigh. Standing splits here. Find your balance. Again, does not matter how high that right leg lifts. We're looking for support here. And once you've found your breath, found your balance, let's add a little flow. So inhaling right here. As you exhale, bend your knees, curl it in. Good. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, draw it in. Last time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl it in. This time, right leg reaches behind the left, shifting weight onto your right palm as you drop the hips. Reach that left hand towards your right foot, maybe catch the toes. Let your chest come forward as the hips lift up. So once again, finding that baby grasshopper shape. Letting yourself kind of hover over the mat here as you take another inhale. As you exhale, slowly unwind. Feet come together. Forward fold, release. Beautiful. Let's take another breath in right here in our forward fold. And breath out. As you inhale, a little halfway lift as you rise your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your hips. Come towards your toe balance once again. Beautiful. You know your options here. Keep the feet separated or big toes together, drawing your inner thighs towards one another. Feeling that same drawing in towards your core as you lift up tall and start to find some balance. So if you want to play, maybe one hand lifts up off the mat. Maybe both hands lift up off the mat. Maybe you even want to play with some movement through the arms if you're feeling wacky here today. Just play around and see where you want to go with this. This is also a great opportunity to really feel that engagement through your body that's really going to serve you as we move towards our side crow. So let's take another inhale right here for now. As you exhale, push down to stand up, drop the heels, rest down into your Tadasana. Beautiful, shake it out, let that go. Pausing here for as long as you'd like to. Grab some water, towel off, do what you gotta do, and when you're ready, we're gonna hop back into it. So meeting once again at the top of our mats. All together, let's take a breath in and let it go. Setting up once again for our chair pose here. Let's bring the feet together, take an inhale, arms up, hips back. Exhale, hands come together in front of your heart. Awesome, inhale here, drop your hips, lift your heart. As you exhale, take a twist towards that right knee. Dropping the hips back and down as you find elbow to thigh, lengthening out, opening into that twist. Now take a peek down at your knees. See if one leg is trying to peek forward in front of the other, and see if you can draw everything back together. That same hugging into center that we've been practicing this whole time. Now we're gonna look down at that right foot and think about really grounding down into the right leg. This is our support. Begin to pop your left heel and just play with that shift of weight, getting light on the left foot. When you're ready, lift the navel as you lift your left foot up. Take an inhale. As you exhale, stretch your left leg back, land your toes into your crescent lunge twist. Oh yeah, let's take an inhale right here. Please stay for your exhale. Beautiful, one more inhale here. As you exhale, slowly begin to unwind your twist, coming up towards your lunge as you inhale, arms to the sky. As you exhale, open up into your warrior two. So give yourself a moment to find your foundations here. First warrior two of the day. So finding that heel to heel or heel to arch alignment, opening the hips, opening the arms. Let's take a breath in right here and let it out. With your next inhale, sweep that right arm up and back, reverse warrior. As you exhale, bring it all the way forward to your side angle. Right arm to right thigh, left arm by left ear. Now feel this lengthening out through your left side waist from your fingers to your toes. And then feel that same hugging to center that we've been practicing this whole time. You got it. Let's take another inhale right here. As you exhale, start to straighten that right leg nice and slow. Dropping that right hand down perhaps to your shin or onto a block. Keeping that left arm by your left ear. Triangle pose as you take a breath in and breath out. Lovely. Inhale, rebend your front knee, come up to warrior two. As you exhale, hands pinwheel all the way to the mat, square off your hips. Step that left foot up to meet your right. Inhale, lift your heels, come onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your hips towards your heels. We're coming back to our toe balance. So you know what to do. Set up the feet, maybe bringing the legs all the way together if that feels okay for you. Start to play around with some balance, see how that feels. And this time we're going to have the option to add on a little twist and perhaps take it all the way into our side crow. So when you're ready, if you want to play with that twist, let's bring right hand just behind the hips, left hand towards your thigh. Take an inhale to lift up tall. As you exhale, turn your chest towards that right leg. And this doesn't have to be a huge twist here. Just starting to turn your chest, take your gaze over to the side. Keep thinking about this lightness up and out of the hips, almost like you're on the very tips of your tippy toes. Now you have the option to stay right here for today. Beautiful place to be. If you want to take this into your side crow, please follow me. So first we're going to think about those foundations of planting the hands, just like we did before. So we're going to reach that left hand down towards the mat. Right hand is going to stay back by the hips. And we're going to plant down, rooting through the fingertips and the knuckles of the hands. Next, we're going to think about lifting the hips up. So find that lightness, lift the navel to help you lift. And then start to shift your weight towards your fingertips. Trust yourself here and take your gaze slightly forward. Chaturanga through the elbows as you create kind of a shelf of the upper arms to place your outer right thigh onto the elbows. Then keep looking out as you shift your weight into your hands and eventually lift the feet away from the floor. Now this is a great time to use a block if you have one. That can help you just to lift up a little bit higher so that as you're coming over into your arm balance, you don't have as far to go with the feet. You're right there on your block. So choose your own adventure here. Start to play with bringing that weight into your hands. Maybe the feet don't even lift today. That is a-okay. But notice that as you're playing with this arm balance here, rather than requiring a lot of strength in the upper body, it requires a lot from your core. So your core is what's lifting you up, making you light enough to balance on the hands. So it requires a lot of that core strength, and it requires a lot of trust as well. Trust yourself to really find some balance here. Maybe even play with the shape a little bit, straightening out the legs. And know that you are always in control here. You don't have to go any farther than your body wants to go today. Awesome. When you're done playing with that side crow, and please take your time, but remember we do have a second side to do. Take a moment to roll out the wrists if that feels nice. And when you're ready, let's take another inhale right here in our toe balance. As you exhale, push yourself up to stand, drop the heels. Take a moment in your mountain pose, shake it out if that feels good. Awesome. When you're ready, meeting back at the top of the mat, setting your feet up for that chair pose just one more time today. All together, let's take a breath in and breath out. Inhale, arms up, hips back. As you exhale, hands find your heart, sinking down into that chair pose. Inhale right here to prepare. As you exhale, take your twist, turning yourself towards that left thigh. Keep shifting your hips back and down to help you lengthen out the spine and open into this twist. Beautiful. Now let's take a peek down at the left foot. Let's start to play with shifting some weight totally into that left leg. So popping your right heel, start to notice how that feels. And see if you have a tendency to sway that left hip out. See if you can keep it hugging in. Again, coming into center. Now, as best you can, keeping your twist, take an inhale to lift your right foot. As you exhale, lengthen the right leg back, land your toes, and you're in your lunge. You got it. Keeping your twist here, lifting your heart. Take another inhale. Please stay for your exhale. One more inhale here. As you exhale, gently unwind that twist, come up through center. Inhale up into your crescent lunge. Exhale, open all the way into your warrior two. Take a moment to set up. Find those foundations pushing down through the feet, opening up through the hips. Let's take a breath in right here. And breath out. Next, inhale, sweeping the left arm up and back, reverse warrior. Exhale, bring it forward to side angle. So right arm over the right ear, left arm gently resting on the left thigh. Feel this length through the right side waist, stretching out from fingers to toes. And feel this lifting of your heart, gently rolling your rib cage up towards the ceiling. You got it. Let's take another inhale here. As you exhale, begin to straighten through your front leg, reaching that left hand down, finding your triangle pose. For today, let's keep that right arm reaching out over the right ear, just giving us that little bit of extra stretch through the side body. And let's take another breath in and stay for your breath out. Inhale to warrior two, front knee bends, arms to a T. Exhale, hands pinwheel all the way to the mat. Let's step right foot forward to meet the left. Inhale, lifting your heels, come onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your hips. Back to our toe balance one last time for today. So as you find your balance, squeezing everything in, lifting up nice and tall. If you choose to play with a twist here today, let's do it. So left hand behind your hips, right hand to opposite thigh. Take an inhale to get nice and tall. As you exhale, turn your chest. So right here, already playing with our balance a little bit more as you take your gaze towards the left. And notice that twisting action through the spine as well. Keep the navel hugging in to really support your low back especially. And then if this twist feels okay for you today, we might play with taking that into our side crow. So here we go. Once again, we're going to plant the palms down just like we practiced. That front arm is coming just by the knees. The back arm is coming towards the hip. Now, kind of traditionally, side crow is done with that back elbow not touching the body at all, but that is a lot. So for today, we're going to practice with both elbows on the thigh. So planting your palms, start to shift your weight forward as you lift the hips, come off the heels. Chaturanga arms as you find that shelf of the arms to place your thigh. Look forward, look where you're going as you start to lean weight into the fingertips, squeeze the navel, squeeze the thighs as you lift the feet. Now once you're there, maybe you start to play with the legs a little bit. Maybe for today you're just playing with seeing how it feels to lift the feet up off the floor. And remember, you always have your block if you want it, just to give you a little bit more height so that you're not going all the way over into that side crow. Awesome. So remember, that first spot is your twist. Make sure that feels good for you. And then you can start to play with that side crow. Lovely. Play around here, right? Remember, this is just yoga. It's not so serious. So if you don't, quote unquote, nail the perfect side crow today, it doesn't really matter. We're just here to play around, find what feels best in the body, and maybe do something that we've never done before. So wherever you are, make sure you're breathing. And when you're done, we're gonna meet back in that toe balance. Beautiful. Let's take another inhale right here. As you exhale, slowly bring yourself all the way down onto your booty. Let's stretch those legs out, give them a little shake, a little wiggle. And then when you're ready, find your comfortable seat. Let's start to roll out those wrists. Hopefully that feels really nice after all the weight bearing we've done on the hands today, from our chaturanga, our down dog, our side crow. It's a lot on the hands, so take some time to really stretch them out, give them some love. So from rolling your wrists here, let's start to bring the hands together, interlace the fingers just like we did before. Elbows out wide, take an inhale to push your palms forward. As you exhale, start to round your spine, tuck your chin. Really lengthen forward through the hands, draw back through the navel. With your next breath in, let's reach both arms to the sky, lift up nice and tall. And as you exhale, start to float those hands down, maybe some spirit fingers on the way. Awesome. With your next inhale, stretch both arms up to the sky. As you exhale, arms come out wide. Think about stretching your arms out, lifting your heart. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach straight up. Exhale, arms reach out. One more like that. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, reach your arms out, open your chest. This time, option to stay here or reach those fingertips all the way back behind you, rooting down onto the floor to help you roll your shoulders back, lift your chest up, maybe even lift your chin if that feels nice. Stretching through the front body here, relax your belly, let go of that holding in the core, and let yourself breathe for a moment. So nice counter pose to all of that kind of curling in that we did throughout the practice to get that arm balance. Letting the breath move freely now as you inhale. And as you exhale, release, come back to your nice neutral spine. Maybe take another little wiggle. Maybe a few more rolls of the wrists or the shoulders if that feels really nice today. And then whenever you're ready, we're gonna take it all the way down onto our backs. So please come to lay down all the way on your mat. Oh, give yourself a moment just to kind of sploot onto your mat here, taking a rest after all of that effort. Let's step the feet nice and wide apart, right foot to the right, left foot to the left, and windshield wiper the knees side to side a couple of times. Slowing down your movement, slowing down the pace of your breath, and allowing yourself to shift into this more restful part of the practice, where we get to integrate everything we just did on the mat. So this time is really important to let your body kind of soak in all that movement. So please, please, please take some time here to really rest. Give yourself enough time to actually have a Shavasana today, just as important as our warm-up. Now when you're ready, start to bring your knees back towards stillness. And let's walk the feet together now towards the center of the mat, allowing your knees to fall open, finding our Supta Baddha Konasana here. So feet together, knees open nice and wide. If you'd like that little bit of extra support for the legs, awesome place to bring in your blocks right there underneath the knees. And then I'll offer you today to take some cactus arms here. So bending your elbows out by your sides, just about in line with your shoulders. Palms facing up towards the sky. So giving us this little gentle back bend here as you start to settle into some stillness. Perhaps close your eyes if that feels safe and comfortable for you. And relaxing the belly, the hips, the pelvis. Unclenching your fingers and toes. Softening that space right between the eyebrows. And giving yourself this time to rest. And you're free to stay here in this shape for your entire rest. And at any time, you are always free to take a different shape, perhaps coming towards your corpse pose or any other pose that feels really good in the body right now. And we'll be here all together for the next few minutes. But if you have the opportunity to stay longer, please feel free to do so. Shavasana. Begin to bring your awareness back onto your mat, back into your physical space. Once again, feeling the parts of your body that are touching the earth, feeling yourself held and supported in this space. And as you feel ready, inviting some gentle movement back into your body. If you're still in your Supta Baddha Konasana, perhaps reaching the hands down and gently drawing your legs back towards one another. And through your movement here, beginning to roll onto either side of your body. Pausing in this place of transition as we slowly reawaken. And when the time feels right, using your hands to press you up to your comfortable seated position. As you arrive in your comfortable seat, as best you can, keep your body relaxed, eyes closed or gaze soft. And if it feels right for you, Bringing your hands together in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra. Sealing your practice today with a moment of gratitude. Thanking yourself for showing up to this practice today to play and to move. And thanking your yoga for whatever it has had to offer you today. And I thank you so much for meeting me on the mat. Namaste. Be well.